Hey, this is Tracy, your dancing realtor. I've always, since I've been in real estate, like somebody referred to it as a roller coaster. You go up the hill and down the hill, but it's a lot of fun and I absolutely love it. But I want to talk about one of the wildest transactions I've ever had. I always joke and say I'm gonna write a book. You can't make this stuff up and tell people about some things that's happened since I've been in real estate, and they won't believe it because I've lived it and I don't believe it. But anyway, this transaction I'm talking about, it actually did close. So that was a great thing. But what happened about a year ago, I had some people come from out of town and they looked at a house and they loved it. They made an offer on it. We offered $75,000 below asking price. And the seller actually accepted it. We were all excited. It was a cash deal. We were going to be closing in 3 weeks. So everything went right along. Like I say, didn't have any reason to think something wasn't going to go right. The day before we were supposed to close, I got the settlement statement, sent it to them, and sent them an email, text. I called them. I did not hear anything. They just basically ghosted me. I was wondering at this point what was going on. So later that afternoon, the buyer called me and said, "Oh no, we've got cold feet. We want to terminate." I was physically sick about it. The biggest thing is I felt so bad for the seller because they had already moved out of the house. They thought it was closing the next day. I did too. I mean, everybody says if it's cash, you think cash, what can go wrong? But trust me, it can. So they did terminate. They lost their earnest money, they terminated. And like I said, I was sick about it. I felt so bad for the seller. I felt so bad for their agent. But anyway, we moved right along. About a month later, I get a call back from these same people. And they decided they want to buy the house again. So they came back into town, looked at the house again, signed a new contract, and paid more earnest money. And I'm explaining to them the whole time, you realize if you back out, you're going to lose this. At this time, we asked for $10,000 in earnest money. And they said, yes, absolutely. Well, 2 weeks went by and we were supposed to close the loan. We were supposed to close the transaction, and you guessed it. The day before, I sent them the information and they would not call me back or communicate at all. We had already set up a final walkthrough the day of closing. So I went ahead, went to the house. They did show up to do the final walkthrough, but when they got out, they barely even spoke to me. And already talking about backing out again. Like I said, you can't make this stuff up. And I was just flabbergasted, just to be honest with you. I was like, oh my goodness. So I messaged the listing agent and I told her what was going on. And she immediately came over there. We talked to them. She actually was amazing. She talked them off the fence. And they decided to go forward. By the grace of God, they did end up wiring their money that day. They did show up at closing. One funny thing that happened during all this is when they had cold feet and backed out, they tried to call the seller to talk to them about it for some reason. And the seller called, their agent, and they didn't want to talk to them. And so I called my buyer and I said, they've got an agent, you've got an agent, that's why you have an agent, you cannot be contacting them. So at closing, she looks at the seller and says, I'm so glad you're here because somebody, and looked straight at me, that somebody was me, told me I could not be calling you. So anyway, she was happy to get to talk to him. Of course, we were at closing. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you about this situation. And like I say, we did make it to closing. There was a lot of heartache and headache and stress during this transaction, but you know what? That's real estate. At the end of the day, we did get it closed, and that's all that matters. I love what I do, and yes, it is stressful sometimes, and this was rough, but we got it closed. So if you are a buyer or a seller, and you want an agent that can handle the chaos and will do everything they can for you, will go to bat for you, will work hard for you, and please give me a call. And on this video, please like and subscribe. I hope you have a great day. Bye now.